Welcome to a psychotic lower body workout. This one will truly destroy you. So, we're starting off with the conventional deadlift, narrow stance, toes out, which I learned from Brandon Teets and Alan Thrall. Basically, this allows you to get more leg drive, which is hugely beneficial for disadvantaged pullers like me. As you can clearly see, I got some of the worst leverages of all time for this variation, which is why I never did them. I felt like the risk wasn't worth the reward. But as someone who maxes out on a frequent basis, the more maxed out for variations, the better. And why not get more out of less weight? Not to mention the amazing carryover you get to other pulls. So screw it. I don't care. I'm going to train conventional and sumo so that there's never any weak links or excuses. General strength is what I preach, homies. So check out this training max, RB9. Not bad. First time ever using the stance. We're going to keep working it in. So close, knees are out, no back pain whatsoever. Alright, that went well, but unfortunately, that was only the start of the workout. The real work begins now. Volume squats on the SSB. Hit 3 sets of 10 with 2 reps in reserve, and here I'm doing 305 pounds, which I'm really happy with this, because I remember when I was hitting this for low reps, but now it's just go, go, go. And I'm not even hitting failure to top it off. Plus, this is a harder variation than the back squat. You lose around 15%, and I'm doing full range of motion I would consider to be ATG. So the leg gains are coming in strong, and based off these numbers, you can even do the math yourself, looking at percentages, I'm likely good for 200 kilos. So in only 3 months of actual serious leg training, results have been amazing. And I just expect this year to keep going well, provided that I continue to strengthen my weak points and focus on hard variations like this. So as you can see, the second set was a lot better than the first. I always find that as I do more sets, my form gets better. You get dialed in, more focused, more in the groove, right? But yeah, you may notice that sometimes I have a tendency of shifting to my side. I never get pain from this, and I'm starting to think that maybe I have scoliosis, or it's an imbalance that was caused years ago from Jefferson's and one-arm pull-ups. I don't really know why I do this, but I notice it happens more frequently with the SSB compared to the straight bar. That said, my overall technique is fine, and with these weightlifting shoes, it really makes it more quad biased, which is very important if you neglected your quads for years, like your boy, who didn't want to get that X taper. But now, I'm actually going to need them if I want to push higher levels on the barbell back squats. And this is what's going to do it. Heel elevation.
If you want to lose all your energy,
do volume squats. Now for the third exercise, we got the SSB Good Morning. This is way harder than the regular version because the pad is high up on your upper trap neck area, which worsens your leverages. So I can normally do 240, I'm down to 195 over here. And what's crazy is that it's not even the hardest variation. If I flip this SSB upside down, it'll pull you forward even more. So this is how you get more out of less weight. And another bonus, which might be evident with the form, is that this will pull your upper back forward. So it's a good T-spine strengthener. So if you're someone who constantly rounds his back on deadlifts, I'm talking thoracic, this will teach you how to stay tighter because you got to fight that resistance. And in general, if you ever feel like failing a squat, you assume this good morning position, you'll be able to get out of it because you've strengthened that position. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to do squat mornings, but just to say, these actually assist in injury prevention and can make the difference in allowing you to grind through on that final rep of a squat. But that's not really the main reason why I use it. It's a hip hinge with a bar on your back, that's all. So most guys will program RDLs, which I absolutely love as well, and there's a video upcoming on that, comparing the Good Morning to the RDL. But 7 out of 10 times, I'll favor Good Mornings because they have a superior stimulus to fatigue ratio. So why would I intentionally go heavier when there's no need? From a training stimulus standpoint, this is more than sufficient, including my reps in reserve. So given the carryover and the hypertrophy benefits, I honestly think Good Mornings are number one, and that's why I'm going to keep working them in. If I can do 2 plates on the upside down SSB version, imagine what that's going to do. And then for the regular versions, getting it to 275, 315. And once you hit a certain point, okay, then it might be 50-50 RDL and Good Morning because the weights are going to be so heavy that it doesn't make a huge difference. But as of right now, milk getting more or less weight. Anyway, enough about that. Let's cover the fourth exercise. Sissy squats with my weighted vest. These are awesome for destroying your entire quads, because when you do a barbell back squat, it actually inhibits the rectus femoris. So you would need something like a leg extension, sissy squat, or unilateral exercise to hit it in the lengthened position. And because I primarily train at home, I'm gonna lean towards this. Not to mention the fact that it's great for strengthening the knees through a full range of motion. And you're gonna see that clearly on the final set, where the knees are way over the toes. And you know what? There's no pain whatsoever. I've gradually worked these in over time, starting with body weight, doing reps of 20 with that, and then just progressively micro-loading. So that's what you gotta do. 5 pounds, 7.5 pounds, 10. You keep working your way up, and there should be no discomfort. So yeah, this will pump you up to the max. You get more out of less weight, so no need to go super heavy, and just prepare to be burning and having difficulty walking right after. And by the way, you'll definitely want to grab onto something for stability. Not that you're cheating by pulling with your arms, but just so that you have maximum force production and balance. Next, we have the banded leg curl. Finally using what I consider to be proper form. Full range of motion. I'm getting my legs straight, or at least as straight as possible for my current setup, which is with my gymnastic straps. Now, I'm using slow negatives because that's what you pretty much do on pull-ups, and the band allows me to train all the joint angles. So as opposed to using progressive range of motion, which is really only going to get you strong in certain positions, maybe 15 degrees outside, I'd rather just use a band. This way I can strengthen the tendons and ligaments through this specific range of motion, as well as gradually lower the tensions to the point where eventually I take it off and I'm good to go. Maybe I'll only be able to do one at some point, but I think this is a lot more specific. And even if it's not, let's say I never learn the non-supportive version. Does it really matter? If my proximity to failure is on point and I'm doing the exercise properly, then we're good. So it's not about hitting mastery. And that's what a lot of guys miss with many of these skills. It's just about straining hard enough. And the same goes for pull-ups. If you're fat and you can only do like 5 reps, that would technically make it a good strength exercise for you. Whereas a guy who can rep out 20 will probably have to go weighted or do some pauses and harder variations. So in general, when we talk about progressions, it's not that we have to be number one. Just train them and you will reap the rewards in terms of muscular activation. And for me, hamstrings are an extreme weak point, which I never thought was going to be a problem. But after that cut, they really shrank and got weaker. So I'm hitting them with the hardest movement you could possibly do. Next, we have the 90-degree back extension with the bar on our necks. I learned about this from Bald Omni-Man. He hit me up saying, "Yo, Alex, you can probably set this up in your rack using reverse hyper." So I gave it a shot and I was amazed that it works beautifully. Only thing is, I gotta use heavier weights next time in the rack, otherwise I risk flipping over like what happened with my man Mechanimal. So please be careful if you're doing a DIY setup. Regardless, this feels phenomenal. One of the craziest pumps you'll ever get in your spinal erectors, and you don't have to go excessively heavy. Though I'm gonna build my way up to doing over 135. This is 77 pounds. Again, it's only my second workout doing these, and I'm taking my time to strengthen the tissues through this range of motion and building capacity. So there's no need to rush progression whatsoever, okay? Finally, we have the neutral front pull. I always like to do one type of core movement on a leg workout, and because I have a calisthenics background, might as well pick one of the harder versions instead of doing typical leg raises. And the benefit of these is that it hits your lats as well, so it's more specific to deadlifts. But I'm pretty freaking tired. Haven't pushed myself like that in a while, and I know that for you too, it'll be the same. So enjoy the gains, and I'll see you in the next workout video.